hold on. Gotta turn on the stream deck. Wait, it'll already be on. Oh, there it is. Hey, hello. Here we go. I got titles. I got screens. I'll put this away. Hold on. All right. What am I doing? What are we doing? I started a stream for myself here so I could get a little early start, check the audio and stuff. I actually have the audio turned up full. Someone mentioned it was kind of quiet last time. I'm kind of quiet, so that's why. Some people talk in a loud voice, and I try to avoid that. Generally, it's a Zen thing, but I might have overdone it. So let's see what we got for title page. Whoa, hey, there it is. Hey, we're here. Got the sign on. It's going. And got the desk all cleaned off. I'm just having a little late night curry dinner. Homemade. And I just got some vegan peanut butter cups. Reese's makes plant-based peanut butter cups, so got those. Shouldn't be too hard. And then I'm having an adult beverage. So should be pretty chill here tonight. I'm just checking my video stream to see where this video is going, because sometimes OBS forgets where I am and what's going on. As far as I can tell, ain't nothing happening right now, so let me just do the usual thing. I'll get out my YouTube desktop app here, check situation from there, and we can mute. Oh, I hear my voice. Does that mean I'm on? Hold on. Let's go to my channel. Accounts. See, it's a good thing I got started early, because this has been rather weird. All right, so my videos, they are rather slow today. And then here's my live. Hey, there we are. I'm on. Okay. I wasn't sure, but it looked like we are. It looks like it's, let's see. I did hit the start live broadcasting button, so we should be good there. We'll check. What the hell is going on with this? YouTube, too many windows. Yes, can't seem to find OBS. YouTube, there we go. YouTube had too many windows open. But yeah, I do see my video there. It says it's live. It does say I'm streaming, so I don't know. Things are just being weird. My internet was acting up a little earlier too, but only briefly. I turned off currently live. It says here's the stream. There I am. Okay, good. For some reason, it wasn't showing it in the thumbnail. Here we go. I'm a Muppet today, and a Moppet. All right, let's close that up. I know what I'm doing. So I'm working on picking up the last couple of bug fixes for Marlin, and then I'm gonna put it on the BQBX and give it a quick test with some kind of simple print. But I might not get that far. I'm just going to go through a few things. I've been working on, let's see, various things. Switch to our coding view. And as you can see, I've been like diving into some weird, wild stuff here with good old assembly language. I haven't worked on assembler for a while, but I started like researching the Atari Basic language, and I noticed that there is a published source code, but it's in really bad shape. It only will like you can build it and it will work, but there's like just the idioms are kind of wrong, and the way the data is laid out is kind of wrong, and some of the other things are wrong. So I figured it would be a good idea to clean it up and update it. And it is 5,000 lines of code, but I already did it once. I went through and I did a big cleanup already. But as I was going over it, I was not completely satisfied with my methodologies. These adult beverages make me burp and hiccup, but be careful. Okay. I need this just to relax. I've been having a lot of caffeine. It's part of my coding lifestyle. So, looks like our levels are good. It's the best you're going to get. I have it up to the full volume. I guess there's a way you can boost past that in OBS. Let me know if I need to. I went to the trouble of announcing this, but of course, nobody's up at this hour in the United States watching me, so that's fine. I'm here for my European and Asian friends. So let me put this all away. And as much fun as I was having with it, the last thing I was doing was just cleaning up these rules, the syntax rules. I'll give you an example of why it's wrong. So here we have 9C, and that's some of the things I know are correct. Like that's okay, that's no. Like each of these numbers has a special meaning. This is like this. This is a shorthand for I can use an expression, and it's basically the same as like saying go sub, check the expression stuff. And so here an expression is cool. And then this little 1b means then. That's a then statement. So yep, that's a then statement. So I can say see then. And then this is actually, because it's a number above 128, like C3, I know it's like a branch. Again, it's one of these branch things. So there is actually a way to figure out, and I've made some code to calculate this stuff for myself here. Like I can do checks to make sure that there's all the ROMs are still building correctly as I'm editing the code. And I'm constantly doing this to make sure it's okay. I added that just a little while ago, but I also have this little utility now, so I can say, oh, this is at, some address here. Like, let's say this is 79B. So we don't know where it is. Well, let's go to SIF and well, this is the code I haven't fully cleaned up yet. So let's just say with this one situation, C3 is it's an if then, and then C3 means go to this other rule, which basically is a see, in this case, we'll figure out what rule it is. So that is got some math here, C3, and then let's see. And then the address that it's at is 79B, 79A, 799, 798, 77, 796, 795, 794, 793, 792, 791. So A791. Wow. I'm counting bytes. So if I go to A791, I do this little calculation that says A794. So it's basically just 3 bytes ahead. So it goes from here, past this one, and this one, and then it goes to this rule here. See, so that would be 3 from here. 1, 2, so that's this byte. And you can see this byte comes after a return. So that means that it's actually a start of a new rule. And so we got to just basically figure out what to call it. And on the original source code I have, sorry about the brightness. There is a, let's see if I go to this, it's SIF. Let's see, it's just after S on and sound, and it's kind of down in the rules. It's down there in the rules. I go to SIF and find it. And yeah, I can search in this, but it's not. The other thing is it's because it's a PDF, it's like OCR'd and it's not accurate. So yeah. So where's my if? Let's see, I guess one way to find it would be to just search for if. Oh, there it is. If. All right, so there's your if statement. Boom. And this is an on. Actually, this is what am I doing? This was an on statement. No, SIF. So there's SIF. Boom. So the next thing is called IFA. So I'm going to put that here. That's the label that belongs there. And we can double check it. 01 FFA3. Yep. 02. Yep. So this here is what's known as a, this particular byte is the, let's see, go up here. We got some commands. That is an ESRT, external subroutine call byte. So I would put here ESRT, and then I would say go there. That's my new shorthand for this. That's all you have to do, and that just, replaces that funky, all this stuff that's in there with something simpler. So then we have this one here, and we know that that is referring to if, this one here is referring to if A. So if I say JS, which is doesn't stand for JavaScript, and then I say if A, that takes us there. And then this one here, 9C or 9B, similar thing. These are like branches that go somewhere. So let's go A792, and then one of them is 9C, and that says it's A7EE. So that's pretty far down here. A7EE, see if we can find it. Oh yeah, it's somewhere in the middle of this string here. So not sure exactly what that is. See, that's 32 bytes after this point here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 31, 32 goes up? No, that can't be right. Well, I'll figure what they mean. I'll figure what they mean later. Uh, anyway, typically, like, well, actually, I already know. I have the bloody code in front of me. I can figure out what it means. So it means JS IFA, right? There it is, JS IFA, and then this one is IFA as well. The only lines we care about are the ones that say SYN on the front. So this one is EOS2. And where's EOS2? Somewhere far away. Let's see if we can even find it. No, I haven't put it in yet. Put it into one of these at some point. Yeah, EOS2 is one of the rules that is right before NSMAT. So there you go. I haven't even got that in there yet. So yeah, this is going to be a while, but I'll get there eventually. But yeah, this is a pretty cool thing. Once I get this cleaned up, I'll be able to not only build BASIC, but then I'll be able to edit it and add more stuff to it and modify things and actually extend the language and so on. So it'll just be kind of a fun little side project to. I'm just sort of getting used to the concept of parsers because I want to, and this does relate to Marlin as much as anything else, because I'm very interested in getting my skills built up to be able to do better parsers and such, and find ways to build a maybe more complicated parser into Marlin. Not necessarily like, we have the option of using Lua, but Lua is kind of pricey, and it can fragment memory and stuff, and but it's a pretty manageable little language. But Lua is, all well and good, but we kind of don't need the whole language. So if I could design a little mini language and just like build it in, and then, that isn't G code, but actually G code is like goes through this mini language, and then within the program, within the firmware itself, we'll be able to design procedures using this mini language with if-then procedures and loops and stuff, that are a little more complicated than we're doing, without without having to have the amount of code that we currently do. So we'll be able to like build up a basic vocabulary of things that you would do in the environment of a 3D printing universe or whatever of a machine. So I'm sure there's already, like, in CNC world, someone's probably already come up with and messed with this kind of concept. This is just kind of something I'm doing to get more versed, and in practicing my Python skills as well, while I'm doing it, because I'm working on working on the parser, eventually to have it finished and written up in BASIC. But there's so much to do in that regard. Like I took all the rules that I was just looking at, and I wrote them all up and formalized them into Python form. Uh, so I have them, but I'm not sure. I don't. I have now. I have to like build the parser around them, and so that's kind of why I've gone back to the original basic source code, was to now look at how they're processing it, to duplicate that in a Python program, pretty much verbatim. Just take what's there, apply it, and if there's a callback, it'll call a Python function in our case, rather than I'm not going to be simulating a 6502 and all that, but I am going to be building the state machine out of from the bare bones of what's in the original source code. So it'll be an interesting project, and I'll be posting more on this channel about that. So if you're following my retro stuff, you can catch up with that as I'm doing it. But meanwhile, let's get over to Marlin, because why people are that's why people keep me fed and clothed and housed, to keep me working on this Marlin. So let's see all the things we've got going on. This upcoming release, I'm going to be doing a new round of Marlin builds. If you didn't know, we have Marlin builds now. So get ready for the release. I've been making builds for the betas. Not everything builds successfully. Also, these are really just, pick it up, try it kind of things. But I would recommend that once you've tried it, take the config H that comes in each of these, and make your own changes, add your own features, do whatever, or use the full configuration files from the configurations repository, and then you can make your changes, make your tweaks as you need to. But right now we have this is the typical size of a file that has all the settings that matter, and then all the settings that don't matter are just left out. All the settings that aren't used are just left out of the settings with this method. These can be exported when you do a build by setting in the config. You set an export value, config adv.h, and that will create an exported config.h, which is a nice way to get it. So I've just been working on a couple of SCARA issues. We have a submission to fix up the kinematics and make the behavior a little better. I'm not sure how I feel about the homing procedure as it is, but I haven't seen how it works. But when I was working on a SCARA robot not long ago, a couple of years, well, let's say 10 years ago, something like that, I was looking at the homing, and we had it home in different ways. Like you could home the Z first, which homes to the top, but if your arms are like way out there, and then it increases the torque, because it's creating a leaning torque or a side torque or whatever, a twisty torque. So the idea was, well, we can home this joint first, and then home the other joint, and then we can home Z. That would be fine. Or we do a raise, a little bit, because we're always raising anyway to move to the Z home. But yeah, rather than do the full homing with the arm like it's outstretched. Anyway, that thing never got finished or distributed or manufactured. So it was a cool idea, but it was just I think the implementation was a little clumsy. When I first saw the renderings of it, I remember I was seeing oh, this would be a lightweight little arm, do little things that maybe it'll be a nice thing to have around the house or whatever. But then when we got to manufacturing, it was like a big, heavy, robust metallic thing, and it was definitely not going to work with an 8-bit processor, like an AVR processor. But we were kind of locked into it by then, and the kinematics for SCARA aren't the most complicated, but they aren't the least complicated either. There's a lot of trigonometry involved. I tried to optimize it the best I could, but anyway, long story short, uh, start out with when you make a first version of something, don't feel you have to put everything into the first version. Just get the first things sorted out with one tool or whatever, and then slowly build up your repertoire. You want to get things, I don't know, it's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking, and like looking back on that, it's like, oh, the things that we could have done differently. Anyway, my job was just to make the firmware go, and I did my best in that regard. And while waiting for the machine to be finished. So, anywho, why am I here? Well, let's go. We're going to the. Let's see. Let's put Affinity Photo away. Font book. Don't need that. We might talk to the AI at some point. Got that open, so we can talk to I don't know, GPT if we need to. OSS 20B. That's the one I've been using a lot lately. I've also kind of been using Mistral Small a little bit, although it's right at the edge of what my machine can deal with. So let's see what else we got. All right, we're going to need GitHub Desktop. Look at our issues. I've been cleaning up one or two today, and let's go back to Marlin. All right, 25 more commits to the SCARA update. And I see. Interesting. Well, we can take an absolute on this. We don't have to do it that way. So let's just clean that up a little. Oh, and of course, clean up all the detritus from. I've actually been wanting to make a test for this, and I thought I had, but maybe I didn't submit it all. But trailing white space, I have my editor set up to highlight it in red so I can easily see it. And we'll just do that. Pretty sure we can just do that. The thing about static assert. We got it all right here. Yeah. All right. Have we got everything? I think we have. So that's interesting. I don't know why. I mean, sure. Hmm. Yeah, so we were also discussing like the home thing a little bit, or I was discussing with myself in terms of like what the homing means. Like when you move home, does that mean that the tool is moved to the home position, or do you just home and then to whatever position the machine likes, and then you just figure out where the tool is and set that as the current position? What else have I done here that was weird? I've had a little bit of issues with my keyboard suddenly deciding to like throw things around. Okay, so there we go. Pasting when I don't want, copying when I'm pasting, pasting when I'm copying. Okay, so that's a nice little cleanup. I'll review this one more later. This is not not exactly urgent, I guess, but it'll be nice to have it working. I presume it's all being tested. Thing is, different SCARAs, different TPARAs, they have a different way of being built, and therefore, uh, they are not always homing the same way, behaving the same way, etc., etc. So invert homing axis order, that's no, no. CBA as opposed to ABC. I mean, why does B always have to be in the middle? Maybe you want to always home the you know, what do you want to do? So I don't know about this invert homing axis order. We already have a thing called like home z last. We already have a thing called home x before y and so on. We could simply apply those here in this situation when we're using SCARA. And then x would be considered A, or Y, which would be B, and those would be the two arm segments. And then the third axis would always be the vertical Z axis. So here we have right, and then we have I forget what it's called. There's one of these here. Let's see, home Y before X, yeah. So you'd want to do like this, and you could do it that way. You could also do something like, let's just do that. Keep it short and sweet. Ooh, how about that? Like that was wanted in both cases, right? And I don't think I have a thing where it's if enabled, but maybe I do. I never did define something like that, so just live with it, people. So that's that. Do that kind of thing. And then you would do something along the lines of, what am I doing? All right, so where is that defined? It's defined here, so it actually is available. You want to use it for your SCARA. And then I just need to look at what it was using before, which was invert homing or whatever order. I don't know if I need. We don't need a new. We don't need a new option. I don't think. It's nice to avoid creating new options if we can. All right, so there. This is what I'll do. I'm gonna clean up the white space first. Boop, white space. Simpler checks. Now these are these are going to tend to be whole numbers, but 0.01, 1/100th, okay. If the intent there is just simply to avoid the problem of floats can be very close to zero but not zero, therefore, we actually have a macro for that. It's called unear. or U near zero or U zero or something like that, or N near zero. I forget what it's called. U near, where is it? U near zero, right? And it just uses less than this. That's a possibility to use that instead. So let's see. I presume we are looking at still Scara. Scara. So yeah, let's try doing that rather than having a new option. And okay, send that on up. Yeah, I mean, when you're doing stuff with whole numbers, like if these are all whole numbers, that would be, the math would turn out fine. It's just that sometimes they aren't. So I get, worry about those weird little remainders. Okay, so put that away. Let's see how this one's doing. That one is also, that one's been merged. So that's one of the, that one was part of this one as well, has also been merged. Yeah. So yeah, that's good. So yeah, those are fixes to the fixed time motion, which I need to keep tuning at home because it's doing weird stuff. Use quick sort instead of bubble sort. Dude, what are you doing? We don't do much sorting. What sorting are you trying to do? SD card sorting? If it uses less memory, that's good. I mean, I don't mind quick sort as long as it's... Oh, this is kind of cool. So it is a quick sort, but, we do have to worry about memory. The problem with our sorting is, it's just like reading the file names off the disk in the first place is a hassle and all into itself. Um, and we are, and we're doing it in such a way that we use no memory to do it, basically. And we have like, um, so each time we read a file name to do a comparison, we have to read the two file names out of the directory and so on. So if the thing uses fewer comparisons, good. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll have to look at the behavior. Good idea. Good idea. But the most vital thing is that it used no more memory than the original. That's kind of one of the big deals. If it uses more memory, that's bad. Did it get modified just now? It did. Let's see. Not sure more list writing. Uh, is to preserve the low, tiny memory footprint of the original implementation. Or keep some equivalent implementation that users of that still fits. Um, So, nice to have faster sorting, though. That we preserve. So I'll check the notes because you probably wrote up a little about it. Unrelated, but let's see how we got. It's faster by about 9 times. Let's take a look at the description. Here we go. Boom. Here's our description. Use my, I'm going to turn off that thing where the notes pops up in the corner. I never use that. Is that a thing? Notes, quick note, hot corner, shortcuts. Screw that. No. Actually, you know what? I'll put it over here. I never go over it. That's like way over on my other screen. How about that? Start screensaver, that's fine. So if I go way over here, yeah, that's fine. I'm never over there. The thing is, my dock is over here too. It's one of the things that you're not seeing because it's way over there. But yeah, that's one of those annoyances. So anyway, goodbye. Thank you for that. So yeah, nice to have a few better sorting. So here's the description. Boom. We got untested. Well, we have a simulator you can test in. Not sure how it'll do, but it's more efficient. It only uses about 72 bytes extra. Cool. The question, of course, is yeah, it comes down to how much memory it uses. So again, it's yeah, significantly faster, sometimes much. When you have 500 items, it's 50 times or 25 times faster. You have 250 items, it's about six, I'm going to say almost 15, 16 times faster. And then you have 50 items, it's like 8 times faster. So yeah, it's significant. Demand by user down, not performance. Screen update once in a second. It was eating up the watchdog. Well, there's a way to do that, which is like when long algorithms happen, we just call the watchdog reset. Um, yeah, so let me at least fix this. We'll get this done. Maybe we'll take this, but the first thing I can do is just make sure that the watchdog gets reset. Uh, yeah, just like the original author said. So yeah, let's take care of that now. It shouldn't be hard. So the sorting happens in card reader, and where it happens is, well, if we look for SD sort, we find sort alpha. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So there's a thing called pre-sort, and that's the thing that slows it down. So we just got to basically make sure that the watchdog is reset in pre-sort. So I guess there's a way I can do this. Just hold down this and it'll take me there. Hey, take me to the original implementation definition. Boom. There it is. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna remember to use these features in my editor. I almost never do. Like I'm just so used to being like, geek with a bad set of tools. Being poor and having crappy tools. It's kind of been my life story. Uh, very lucky now to have so many great things to work with. So the file count is modified. Is it modified as we go? I feel like it is not. In which case, it is not. So I think I can make this const maybe. Just make sure. I'll do some, I'll build in the simulator. Oop, might need the right terminal to do this here though. Put the other one away. I'll be playing with that basic stuff for today. And that's for our Open Web UI. Okay, so let's use example config simulator. That'll pull down simulator config. And I'll just use make A N1Y just to make the, I meant MF test. Gotta use my own, gotta remember my own commands. All right, so yeah, this is gonna pull down the newest UHGlib. Good. Did some updates to the graphic library, which are very nice. Thank you for those. Nice beverage. Okay. Taking me to a more relaxed place. All right, let's see. Hello, Grogian. Hello, Vishnu. I see you in the chat. When I pull up OBS, the chat window pops up, and then I can see it. There's one of the things I really want OBS to do is like give us a a chat window that's always on, it's always visible even when you're not in the app. Otherwise, you have to make a little chat like thingy. Let me double check my chat thingy and make sure it's all set up correctly. Oops, I have the wrong chat showing. I'm supposed to show the YouTube chat. There we go. And let me make sure I got it all set. Properties. Oh yeah, that's right too. The properties of the YouTube chat are a little bit. That window I never can find it. It's like hidden behind the window or something. Where'd it go? Filters interact, refresh. Let's refresh. Hey, cool. Let's see what it says. Chat is disabled for this live stream. I don't think so. Let me go set it up correctly here. Hold on. Gotta have that right. Now, where are the properties? That's what I want to know. Properties, please. Come on, OBS. I wish you had a window menu. That's really silly. So I opened the properties like 7 times, which means it's supposed to be open. I might have opened it too many. I don't know. I close this window, I'm not sure what happens. I'm not going to mess with OBS here. Darn. Okay, well, I wanted to have it up for the here. But I always forget at the start of the stream, you have to go and get the new URL every time. It's like not automatic. It'd be nice if it was. YouTube chat, right? Yeah. Maybe if I just hide it. Oh wait, it has a lock on it. That's my. Nope. Oh wait, maybe it's here. Community moderation parts. Well, it's working because I have the chat here. It's not working for the weird. And well, thank you for coming anyway. That's annoying that I can't change it once I've got my stream started. Thought I was able to change it like right in the middle, but that for some reason that property window just never shows up. Yep, hit properties and it just doesn't come. So strange. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is, folks. These tools are hard to use. Let's see. There's a control panel. Switch account. Select stream. refresh page, etc., etc. I'm an owner. Select stream. One. Share. Add a stream marker. Okay. Well, I'm getting excellent streaming, so that's good. Well, anyway, let's take a look at the what I just built. And usually I'll do it this way. We'll open up Visual Studio Code. Then on the simulator from here, why not? Yeah, it's there it is. How about that simulator? So let's see what we've got. Boom. So I'm running in the simulator, and I'm doing, and I actually there's a way to get an SD card in this thing. Let me see if it actually works. No media, right? I have to insert an SD card. Let's try it now. Nope. Or is it? No SD card, no media. Huh. It's misbehaving. Let's see. I'm sure I had an image somewhere of this bloody file dialog. Just give me a system file dialog, guys. Come on. I had to look for it. Hold on. I know I've got an image around here somewhere. Just don't know where I've been keeping it. I always move it around. Let's see if I can find that. So Marlin Firmware project, go up a level. Marlin builds, very nice. Marlin Sim UI, Sims, Sim RepRap. Oh, I have a couple of other Sims, MK404 Sim, and Sim RepRap. There's also there's a couple of Marlin configurators out there that are pretty cool. I'll have to review them again. I have one I tried to write. Then of course I've got the one I put into auto build, which is kind of where it belongs, really. But I need to extend it with more features. Let's see, I'm still looking for that bloody SD card. Marlin's firmware, old Sim UI. Yeah, I wish I just had a standard place to keep some of these bloody things. Forks, Sims, blah. Up a level and see if I have a folder called no. Like Marlin Extras or something, but I don't. Well, the simulator is supposed to be able to make an image, but I really wanted to have one that had like a real SD card so I could test it. I guess what I'll do is I'll just move on to the last couple patches so I can flash something onto my machine and give it a test, and then maybe I'll give it the SD card sorting a test at the same time. See what kind of behaviors we get. But first things first, I got to clean up the watchdog issue. So here we have a long loop. You can see it goes file count greater than 0. There's going to be some for loops. Here's one. Init sort order. If using RAM, then read all file names now. Yes, this is where it gets. You can see this being very, taking a long time. So what we'll typically do is I could either disable the watchdog during the sorting. Be interesting. Why not, right? Or, like if the machine just happens to get stuck at that point, like it just won't reset itself. It'll just sit there stuck instead. The thing is, you can browse the card only when you're not printing. The other thing is you can also be like, you could have your heaters on and be heating up, and then you could browse your card still. And if it locked up at that point, still a safety issue. So always got to think safety first. So let's take a look. Flush pre-sort, that won't take any problem. That won't be a problem. But yeah, it's this big loop here. So there's the sort order. Select file by index, set sort name, set sort short. I think this is the part that does that's the slowest part, as far as I can tell. It's the slowest part. I'm freeing stuff here after I did sorting. Here we have, so this is one of the areas where it could be a little on the slow side. Here we say if file count is greater than 1, do all that. If it's only 1, then that's interesting. Oh, well, I see what we're doing. We basically have to just deal with the one file as a special case. So that's fine. One or, fewer. This is a special case. 2 or more. So yeah, I could do something here where it's like, all right, so how about we make it so that when I is on every 10th one, it'll reset the watchdog or something? Yeah, and then when does it do the sort? It does the pre-sort now in this case when you're using RAM. You don't have a lot of RAM. What am I doing differently? If using dynamic RAM, allocate on heap. Right. So I think this is where things get a little on the slow side. It's doing string copies, it's setting flags, and then it's doing select by index, it's rewinding the work directory. I mean, it's probably not the fastest way to do things. So let's do the one where I put it here in this general area. Yeah, just say, I don't think the sort itself is the problem. Also, I'm doing the sort like as I go along, which, like hashing and then sorting is like not what we want to do. The other, yeah, well, anyway, it would be nice to do something like where, you have a tree kind of situation and you know what all the A files are and all the B files are. You just get them in that order first, and then you get all the of all the A files, then you get the AA files, and you get the AB files, so on and so forth until you have all those, and then I don't know. There's messy ways to do it. As folder sorting, fine. I don't know. I feel like this is where the loop gets really. Um, this is the really long one right here. But right at first, it just sets the sort order. Let's take a look what sort order looks like in other places. I see. Interesting. Quick sort order. We're not using RAM. We will have a sort order that's just simply in order when we start out. Right? Each element equals the number. So basically you have an unsorted set of files at that point. I see. And this is when we're using RAM, we do it here and now. Interesting. What else do we do with the sort order? Okay. I guess it's all done here. So yeah, we've got, we either get the sort order from the thing or the thing. Uh, Here we use new, been known to happen. Okay, so then the quick sort of sort order, let's see what that does. And also what does sort order have? It's just numbers, right? Yeah, I created it as a just a set of numbers. Keep things simple. Just so you can sort up to 255 files. And you need to sort more than that. Get a new SD card, start using folders. Don't be crazy. It sort that many in one folder, basically. But typically we set it to something like 40 or 50, and that's enough for most SD cards. If you have more files than that on your SD card, it's going to be very unwieldy. So here we have this. And what is it doing to do the sort? Not quite seeing it. Low, high, etc., etc. High equals, etc., etc. Stack, etc., etc. So you can see here, this is like, it's going to double the amount of memory. Um, so this is the original bubble sort, apparently, or something similar to the original bubble sort. Just a quick note there. Let's see what else we got going on. Hi, OBS. Hello, OBS. Why it doesn't come to the front. OBS is funny. Sort of I mean, it's a cool looking app. It does good things. It's very modern, but at the same time, it's kind of archaic. Does some weird stuff. Um, and I guess I can hide that chat when it's any good. Nobody needs to chat it. Nobody's chatting anyway. It's just we have a hello, a couple of hellos from a couple of fans, and even contributors. So that's always nice to see. So yeah, as for your watchdog reset, so here it's doing select file by index, and here you don't need that obviously. Right. So it's being copied over essentially as it was. So our sorting algorithms are here. Okay. Read the names, compare, retaining only 2 at a time. Slow. It is indeed slow. So I think the way to do it is to reset the watchdog pretty much, I don't know, I feel like almost on every file. Let's do it. Let's do it on every other one anyway. How about something like that? There's a few places where we do it. Or is it watchdog reset? I know we have it here somewhere. Come on, watchdog. Oh, refresh? Oops. Yeah, 7. Let's see. It's as good to say equals 0, I guess. So that'll be every 7th time because it's doing select file by index. And then here, similar idea. I'll do it right there. Maybe. That should be pretty quick. I'll just do it here at the end. And then yeah, it's going backwards, so we don't really know what it's going to start from. And here's another one. That's the disabled version, that's the enabled version, but either one does call this. And then we have this where say if the file count is greater than 0, we do this whole thing where we're using RAM. It's interesting. It uses RAM. Then we already have a sort name and a sort short set. Using RAM, we do need to get the second one. Yeah, I see what's going on. So yeah, there is a that kind of situations. My thinking is I don't know, pick any arbitrary number really, but let's just say every 7th we're going in forward order. So and init. Okay, so there's a little bit of watchdog refreshing going on in here already. Good. Yeah, it's some of these media devices can be a little on the slow side or act up or do weird things, and you don't want to be, waiting around for them without resetting that watchdog. Okay, so I think that should do the trick. I could also, artificially screw around with make a artificially slow SD card or something, or throw in a delay to make it work. Or I think this will do the trick. Let's just take that and use it. Also, why is it failing as well? What's failing the checks here? Build tests. We have that one failing. So let's say thank you to Keith. He just sent over this device so I can test dynamic TFC 2240s when they arrive, and not have them blow up like they did in the SKR2 board I have, which I thought was a revision B. I'm pretty sure even now it is a revision B, but it did kill my trinamic drivers. So yeah, I should have been more careful. They were $50 or something. They're expensive, man. Anyway, also this board is also pretty expensive right now. It's got like a 10% tax on it. And that's just the part I know about. So yeah, this is definitely cramping my style. Indie developer. I rely on doing things on the cheap and tariffs and stuff are definitely not helping my industry whatsoever. 3D printing, not an important industry. Nothing that'll last for any time. Don't worry about that. It dies, no big deal. What am I seeing? I'm seeing like a checkout failure. So I think maybe there is no bug. Let's just rerun them. Actually, I'll send this up and then it'll run. That will run it. Need to reset Watchdog anyway. And then I'll just take that Watchdog reset and I will port it on over to, oh, what the hell? Hold on a second. Let's stash that. Let's get the new commits. And then we'll get the stash changes. They don't conflict, and good. And we, yeah. Here you go. Watchdog reset. So generally speaking, we'll just use whatever algorithm works best. If the memory cost is equivalent as far as the amount of RAM they use, I'm not going to worry hugely. Right. Oops. If did I finish my message? No. We got most important thing. Here we are again. Thing is to keep the memory, the RAM usage from increasing. And if quick sort is always better, faster, and always uses no more RAM, no extra RAM, then we can just replace the bubble sort with sort and entirely. How about that? Boop. Mm-hmm. There you go. So, hope you like that idea. Okay. While that's being thought about, I'm going to work on the next thing. See, did anything happen? Did any of these fail? Oh, right, I forgot. I can't scroll that because GitHub Desktop has a big bug in it right now. Okay, so it says Teensy35 doesn't like something. Oh, look, if n is less than v, v equals n. Okay. What's v? V is a reference to something. No less, no more. Oh, okay. So this is where now? Oh, I know. Did I forget to put a, oh, I did, I forgot my semicolon. I've been programming so much Python lately, I keep forgetting. Hey, how's that? There you go. Try that again. Yeah, and how about some semicolons? How about that? Whoops. Not what I meant to do. Meant to cancel that. Well, that's what you get for drinking beer while you're coding, but you're gonna mess up things. Why have you here? Keep me honest. Okay. Presumably that should work. Anyway, I'll come back to that later. I do believe. Yeah, it's running now. Okay, let's put that away. And Pipara movement. Let's see. I was cleaning some of that up, but did I forget some semicolons again? Let's take a look. See what's broken on this one. See, no scrolling. What's up with that? I can see more by doing this, though. Oh, wait, now I can get there. Aha! They got to fix that bug. It's been in there for a month or more. Maybe if I reported it, they'd know it was there. Oh, what's going on here? It's another one of those connection timeout issues with PMC stepper for some reason. I did all this stuff to like fix these tests and not have them use so much do so much HTTP. But I mean, this kind of thing, that's just part of the build. I don't think I can get rid of that. So I don't know why there's so many of those tests pass so quickly, though. What am I doing that makes things pass so quickly? All right, let's put that away for a minute while we work on the next one. Yeah, sometimes the CI just gets flaky. So we have this concept of this idea that maybe we could fix the probing and have it work with. That is very strange. What is going on with that? How did I get here? Message LEDs, message lights. October 13, 2024. How did I get here? My lord, this is one of those days, I tell you. I don't know how things are working or what. How did I get to this page? No idea. I went here and I was like, show me, reveal the thing. I hit Command R, I'm pretty sure. Okay, there you go. I must have pressed something. I don't know. Anyway, but not everyone trusts the fixed time motion to work during probing. And also, I also had like I've noticed it does like seem to have a little bit of jerk on deceleration. Like it seems to decelerate too quickly. I don't know what's going on with that. Mess with it. No change without delay. When abort is true, no step commands are processed in motion stepper. If command buff has data is true, the loop ends. Abort current block stays false. Right. And an FT motion stepper returns without processing any. Used. I mean, again, this is like it's a very new feature, and again, we're not the original authors, so we're kind of like working in it. We got the idea, we got it, and we're like, oh yeah, do the steps into a big buffer, then run the step buffer. It gives us plenty of chance to pre-calculate where the steps and direction signals should go into that very simplified, bitwise, bitmappy buffer that just represents time in a continuous flow. Uh, Or eventually add a safe delay in enable Z probe, but quiet probing is still present. So yeah. Yeah, so we don't know exactly what's going on with it, but it relates to this particular probe, and then with this particular motion system. Originally I thought it was because we weren't catching the end stop signal and then stopping the motion in the right way. I think we are, though, at this point. But now it's just a question of maybe the motion system is just, I don't know, there's something about this new motion system that is it can't be as accurate in terms of getting those signals. I don't know. It seems fine in that regard. So I don't know. What happens is I think that the probe gets triggered somehow. Something to do with EMI, maybe electromagnetic interference. So yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see what Keith has in his report, and then I'll try. I mean, I've got probes, but the machines with probes, they're all none of them are BQ are what do you call them, BL Touch clones. I don't have a CR Touch. I have mostly BL Touches, old and new models, which I got directly from Paris. Thank you, Paris. I'll take more. I have a couple of machines I'm going to be building. Browsing around, I see one race condition. Okay, so this is interesting. Might be a race condition. And this is from last week. So when we abort the current block and there's data, we return. Otherwise, we discard. Basically, this will keep coming back to this, and it'll eventually it will get to the discard planar. This will be false, and then it'll fall through to here, and then this will become false, and then it will be done, so it won't have to keep coming back to this. So yeah, halting is delayed up to a millisecond as this has data, and then goes off, does motion, come back to this loop in the main loop, and now we're checking to see if we should be discarding the planar block. So it is possible, I see what he's saying, it could be that a planar block could get through, and then you'd never have a situation where this flag gets cleared because you'd be but we do have this abort current block thing, so this would not get set. Let's see where it's getting set, and we can see, yeah, so here we can see, is the buffer empty? Does it have data? Could, right, this is where it is actually adding stuff, where it's checking it. It's only updating it here, which is interesting. The other thing is we definitely want to use that aborting of the block as a cue to not, if it's being aborted, then it should not go on to the next block. Typically what we'll do in a homing situation is we'll do a homing, and then no other moves will follow that until the homing is done. But it's perfectly fine if you wanted to do G28 and then a G1, and you wouldn't just throw away the G1 after the homing was done. What you want to do is just throw away the block that's occurring during the homing. Also, we may not home I don't know if we do any segmented moves during homing. I don't think so. But if we did, that would cause issues as well. You can imagine. But typically we would turn off leveling. We don't do segmented moves, but on a SCARA or a Delta situation machine, you're going to have segmented moves whether you want them or not. So yeah, it gets very tricky. We have this whole thing where it goes in a loop for a period of time. It was never great, but we've never had to really change it hugely. Meanwhile, quick stop just says abort current block. Ooh, I can't believe I'm getting tired. I got up kind of late today, like noon or something. I don't think I'm getting the greatest sleep, but we don't. Who knows? Okay, so there's what the coder is looking at. Here we have, boom, in pulse phase. If we must abort the current block, we do so. But I see also that it does set this to false. Interesting. I would say this probably wants to stay set here until it gets handled well. Until it gets handled, well, the thing is we don't do the pulse phase when we're not running FT motion, at least as far as I know. Double check. But yeah, when we're not using FT motion, we call it. Yeah, it never gets called outside of when we're using FT motion. So that's interesting. I mean, I'm kind of like speculating in the dark here about what might be going on, but let's see what he says about. Maybe he noticed. Did you notice this? Halting is delayed by up to a millisecond. Issue is that reset does. Yeah, yeah. I see. Well, the FTM loop is, first of all, that's in the main loop, so not that's not happening during an interrupt. Um, hmm So yeah, I mean, basically, we just want to make sure that this is always atomic. So that's certainly important. Let's make sure that's true. But I'm also well, we'll see what's going on with that. FT motion. That only happens in reset, though. I mean, what operations are atomic? Like if we're incrementing either of these, like the consume index, for example, it's going to go up by 1, and then it's going to catch up to the produce index at some point. So I don't know if that's that important here. Is this where it even matters to our situation? Like, yes, reset does do that, but does FT motion reset? Is that what we do when we hit an end stop or something? I don't think we do. Um, calls quick stop, it does abort current block, atomic section ends. Okay. FTM loop sees abort current block. So that actually called? I don't think reset is even called, is it? Oh, there it is. So I see. That does call reset, and then reset is doing that. So yeah, makes sense to me. I think actually, I feel like we could just put the atomic section around the reset there. I mean, yeah, what do you think? Why not just here? That the one we use was enabled equals suspend. Cool. And atomic section. And then there's also wonder if I should make this into like a static or use like a global for this. I just feel like wasn't able to wake up. Or you could just do suspend and wake up. But what is it? It's the flag it checks wasn't able to equal suspend. What suspend is doing. Right. Stepper suspend. Yeah. Apparently, can't do it here. All right, how about that then? Or should I stick it at the end here too? Just to be on the safe side. Get everything gets reset here. I mean, we could do atomic sections around all kinds of things, but to avoid oddities when the stepper driver tries to deal with things. But seems like this is a good spot to do it in. We are resetting, typically going to be happening, and it never outside of the outside of printing situation. So we could try that. I'm just going to throw it up there as something to try. Try it out. See what it does. I mean, previously we just turned off FT motion. So no change without delay. So yeah, when abort current block is true, no step commands are processed. Then if the has data is true, etc., that ends, it stays false. Stays false. Interesting. And ft motion step without processing steps. Loop ends when that is false. Well, okay, nothing too definitive here yet, but the changes happening here is two things. There's that suspension I just added. There is the removing of this disabler. And that's pretty much it. It's just like we're just removing the disabler so that FT motion stays active when you're homing or probing. We'll see. We'll see. This is something that I should be testing, so gonna do it. Let's do it. Let's grab this 28030 and we'll merge the latest with it. Grab the bug fix. And the latest changes. Good. And we'll merge it into this, I guess. I'll just merge it in. The hell? Doesn't like my keyboard for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Okay. And let's use that as the basis for my tester. I've got this one. And we'll just, I guess I'll rebase it on PR28030. Okay. Now, I want to try. Let's see. Thinking about it, see if there's any other thing I want to pull in. 401 report, fix compilation errors. Okay. Go. And let's take a look. We got 3 files changed. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how linear e-jerk works in relation to fixed time motion. I'll have to look at that, but I do believe that we have some other things going on. Look. How does it behave? It recalculates the max e-jerk. Due to a junction deviation thing, it occurs in, well, there when you're editing. Of course, there's the max e-jerk. And yep, sure enough, linear advance, it does apply. Okay, all well and good. should know the logic of that by now. It's been part of my repertoire for a long time. All right, let's see what else there is. I believe in you. Let's see, and then this, an advance or FTM has limit. Then we allow for the planner to have this value. Wait, that's no, the FTM doesn't use it. Does not use this value. Does not use this value. It doesn't use it. What's going on with that? Doesn't use it, man. Not supposed to anyway. Let's take a look and see how it's behaving, because I know it's different. We have, we don't need this when it's like, yeah, see, there's, damn it. There we go. All right, single word. Then advance has this, set float, send LAK. Boom. No. See, this has its own. Got this one. We don't need that. But we do need it when there is linear advance enabled. So here's the trick. Yeah, that's fine. Both of those apply, but here we use this instead of the other. Okay, and then here, Ruffle and Advance again. I will have to double check that, but I do believe that only applies to non-smooth version of regular motion linear advance. Okay. Okay. That takes care of that one. That set. These. Yeah, no. Maybe some of these do apply, but yeah, no, none of these apply. And I guess as long as this has got a, it's almost 20 lines, so let's see. Finally, in settings, only writes it when linear advance is enabled. So now we'll just double check and make sure it's not referenced anywhere. Linear advance only, yep. Here, linear advance only, then rough linear advance, which is again advanced but disabled smooth, therefore rough. Get it? So it's equivalent to linear advance essentially. So yeah, it's only applied there and here, either one, because, oh yeah, that's right too. This is the problem right here. It's active, then we're using that. It's not active, we're not even coming into this. We shouldn't be anyway. But what we could do is say, yeah, let's see, right, so when FTM is active, we use its linear advance here in this particular spot. Otherwise, we use our standard one. I want to make sure I understand what's going on because, oh, I right, it's being set in the block. That's the issue. First things first. Wonder though, the block doesn't get a use advanced lead. Yeah, okay, so it does need that. Yeah, I see what I'm doing here. So let's just do this. It's going to be 0 unless linear advance is enabled. Then it's good. So what you end up with is that it won't get here unless one of these is enabled. Then it'll, if it's active, it'll get a K value, and it will, check and see if it's 0 or not. If it is 0, it's not 0, you'll get your flag set, and that flag will end up here. If it's 0 or anything else going on like that, then we're good. Okay, I think that takes care of that. Now let me take a look at this. FTM active. I do use it here for some things, so it is important. Yeah, and it's only used when it's not active. And then actually calculations happen here, the acceleration. So yeah, I think that takes care of it. Let's upload that. Yeah, you can see the little subtle weirdness because of this convoluted thing we've got. uh, yeah, actually, that's a common thing. One of the reasons we have in the firmware the option to turn off your heaters or your bed or other things while it's probing is specifically because of that. It's like the bang bang heating, like it causes big spikes in the voltage on the board as it's suddenly hitting with this big load and then it's going down, and the bed is just a big antenna. So yeah, it makes sense that you get some EMI and feedback and reflection. The only thing you can do is just add capacitors. And I mean, typically what we used to do back in the old day was just put a capacitor, a tiny one, on the line to your probe, and that, or your end stop, and that's still good advice. You can still do that. Put a little capacitor on there and get it more reliable. Of course, we don't expect people in 2025 to be putting capacitors in line in their wiring like we do in RepRap land. So I get it. All right, so here, I think I did figure this out. No, without lin advance, but the other stuff's good. Okay, all that done. So that's a pretty nice fix. I'll include that in my testing. Let's see, what else can I do? Not much else, but yeah, this is a good fix for that issue. I think that my patch is correct. Someone's using milestones. And we have a special linear advance section. Yes, we do. Cool. So fix that. As position float. Double check that. Where is this used? And why? Okay. In the prevent length extrude section and cold extrusion section. And up here it is popping up. We do have position float sometimes, including when FTM is active. Oh, that's an interesting one. And carefully, we are doing square roots here. And squares, and subtract. So we subtract, we get the difference, we get the length of the move. We divide it by its, what, hypotenuse? Do the same thing, right? Oh, by the extruder. Extruder divided by length of the move. We should know that. Now we've got some kind of target minus position stuff somewhere that we calculate. I don't know if we have it stored here. Probably not. This is the populate block method, I think. But yeah, position float is used in this case. So, okay, I'm down. It also is applied in power loss recovery, and it equals the target float. So it's basically, something we use that when we need it. Reset. Okay. And position cart. Now, of course, the Cartesian position is a float. So, but position float is specifically, I do believe, needed for accurate math. Steps cannot be used, right? So, cases where steps aren't good enough for our purposes, although they could be. They honestly could be. Okay. Well, so be it. I don't see any reason not to keep it. Since it typically applies to linear advance anyway, might as well apply it to Louvre, our other linear advance. Okay, so it looks like I think that's everything. That looks logical to me. What do you think? What do you think? Okay. Compilation broken out when nifty motion is enabled. Would be good to have that test set up. Was it because, yeah, it was because of something. FT motion with linear advance or something. Let's see what it has in tests. I have a test of FT motion with Rambo, but probably set it up so it has linear advance, right? Yeah, it's rough linear advance. So let's see what was required to make that happen. FT motion with extruders has a linear advance, so okay. That took care of that. I'm just not sure why it didn't show up in the tests in that case. Unless all the tests have been failing and it wasn't a connection issue. Yeah, because that compiled, and I just changed that a second ago. So that's fine. That wouldn't be compiling if it had a test for. All right. Add smooth linear advance and fix. For it. Fix for linear advance, add smooth. Smoothing, more smoothing. Oh, this is pro UI stuff. Yeah, pro UI stuff. But someone's paying attention. The author of pro UI hasn't been very proactive, which is sad. The loner, a rebel. Let's see, editable U. Okay, gotcha. Editable K. So we have an editable U instead of a K, or we do have a K. Editable K, editable U. So, oh, that's interesting. I don't know why we would want an editable DAO. DAO. I mean, it's just 6.2a, right? Isn't it? All right, let's see. Menu item, blah, 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 undraw float. Okay, I trust you. I trust you when it comes to Pro UI crap. Let's call it good. Boop. And I come up with a proper icon. Oh, I haven't done any UI stuff in a while, but that's the icon we use for UI stuff. I know there's a quicker way to do this, I'm sure. You have a little tool that just pops up. 2025, everything should be, it should see what you're trying to do and just be like, here you go. Everything should be clippy now. All clippy all day, all night. All right, what time is it now? We are getting into some weed hours here. Almost 2:30. Damn. I've been at it for close to 2 hours, and it doesn't feel like it. You know why? Being with you guys is just makes the time fly because it's so fun. All right, let's see what we got. Compilation errors. I think this is sorted as well. We'll move on. Advance flag. 6. Follow up to lock advance flag. Updates. Yeah, I like my titles to be something. If I look at them later, which I never do, but if I did, I would be like, "What is this issue number in my title? Why do I care?" I want the title to just tell me pretty clearly what's going on. Give some maybe a teeny bit of background. Give me some context. Okay. See what's going on in the world. Oh. Alt text. Someone's having issues with the alt text in my socials. Hey, I use alt text in my socials. What can I do? If you don't like the alt text, you have to use the QR code. I put up a QR code, so it was like funny. Just to see what that would do, whether people would use the QR code. Plus, it kind of looks cool because it puts your logo on it and stuff. When you make it on YouTube, give you a nice, pretty QR code. Not much going on the old X, which is fine. I'm kind of shadow banned on X actually because I have liberal tendencies. I try to promote reason and other things, and I have this crazy idea that we founded our nation on the basis of limiting the powerful's influence over our lives. Crazy idea that we started this whole thing to depose the kings and get rid of them. Apparently, some of the kings don't like that, so they've shadow banned me on the social networks, or at least on X. I've got plenty plenty of traction on Mastodon and plenty of traction on Blue Sky, of course, where people are much more focused on doing things, like having interests, not just arguing politics, which is nice. It does happen, but cool thing about Mastodon and Blue Sky is we got a lot of folks from Brazil over there now because out of Brazil and and Twitter wasn't treating them very good, so they moved over. We got lots of Brazilians. Let's just check in the socials. Oh, look, someone did a benchy on an A1. Neat. You can't do that. It belongs to us. It belongs only to the RepRappers. Trunks app won't let me copy of click alt text. Could you add that to the body? No, it's too late. It's too late. You can't edit the body. Can't do it. You can't do it. All right, moving on. I appreciate that. Yeah, right back at you guys. All right. Let's see what else we have in my socials. Oh, I'm just going to check the Blue Sky. I'm just waiting for this to pass. I don't think I'm going to go nuts and do a bunch of 3D printing right at this moment, but pick up tomorrow and work on that. Also, at the same time, while I'm doing my 3D printing, I'm going to be publishing 213, so love it or hate it, here it comes. You're getting it early Friday morning, whether you like it or not. I'm going to do as much as I can to test and fix things, but you've had years. All you vendors and contributors, you've had years. This has been a really long time coming. I have to say, it's crazy how long it took to get everything sort of sorted out. But the cool thing is we got it sorted out. A lot of it sorted out. Proved a lot of things. But yeah, we got real held up by this new fixed time motion. I thought it would be a quick thing, and it took us about a year and a half, 2 years to really work out all the kinks and bugs and get it integrated, because we're building on an old, edifice, and getting things integrated into it, like, it's oftentimes very tricky. I'm working on over the next phase, I'm going to be totally revamping so much of it. It's going to be more interesting than the last phase where we just were constantly fixing bugs. I'm creating all kinds of new ones. But I'm going to be preserving things, but I'm trying to do underpinnings of the UI, things like that. Like I don't want to touch the motion hardly at all, except bringing in more optimizations and patches and fixes and things, and whatever we can do to smooth it, whatever new algorithms people are bringing us. And in the meantime, I'm going to be very focused on the user experience and just trying to patch up the menus, make a first-time setup wizard, and all that kind of stuff. So should be fun. All right, I'll take one more quick peek, see what we've got ahead of us in the code pile. We have an override of the stop pin in the Chi2. Apparently was not possible. This is probably a very simple fix, a little conditional around the pins in the pins file. Yep, sure enough. Some use, yeah, okay, great. Well, I tell you what though, I like it, but I don't like your layout. It's gotta line up, or else it ain't right. Surprised it's actually passed tests, because we usually do pins tests and stuff. I feel like tests are not passing. not happening or something. Oh, it didn't get tested at all. Okay, funky. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'll just delete that from there and we'll continue here. And I like to put tags on things, labels, just cause, for posterity. So, some Chitu boards use PA14, some PG9. Yeah, we don't need to make a very long note about it. Not what I wanted. What I wanted was when I just updated. There. So allow overriding. Yes, okay. Tronxy Pro printers. Seem to use. I like the phrasing. Like it implies that the pin is there, but they seem to use it, but they don't. All right. Whoa, whoa. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I like to keep things short and sweet if I can. Okay, I like it. First time contributor. Thank you, Beowulf Node 42. First time. Welcome. Thank you. That's awesome. I love first time contributors. Interesting. They require approval. I would think making the one that checks the pins run without approval would be fine. Checks the spacing and stuff. That's why. That's why things aren't running. Some of them need approval. Okay. So anyway, I approve. I approve this message. All right, we're looking at 1, 2, 3 more coming in. The para movement. I'll let them know about my fancy changes because now we'll want to update the examples. I can't spell today. Appropriate. So, okay. You're in a big hurry to get your SCARA printer working. I know how it is. I know how you folks are. You want your SCARAs working. Okay, I feel good about that one. Delete that. Okay, axis synchronization, Z shaping. This is again, this is another modification to fixed time motion. I do believe oh yeah, I guess, yeah, this is the fix to the fix. Yeah, these will all have to pass testing, and then I'll get on to them. All right. I know you're going to become alarmed about my health if I don't. Oh, I need to get some merges in here. Merge. Sorry, David, I know you don't like merges, but I'm going to merge anyway. It's just neater. You can rebase if you want. Okay, so the bug fix took all this out. What does that mean? And this is all being added in. Take a look and just make sure I understand what is being done. I do believe we're looking at FT motion around line 108. Yeah, sure enough, these things are being added. So whatever I did in, yep, smoothing and shaping. So something in here got modified, but nothing very important. Apparently. Don't know. All right, onward. Continue that merge. There. Oh, unable. Sorry, I'll have to go back and fetch that before I can do it. Apparently I had a copy earlier. Ready. Oh, okay, there's another one 2 days ago. Okay. So those conflicts. Is that the only one again? Okay. Leave it as it is. Oh, I know. I probably just cleaned up some of the comments in this area. That's probably why it's doing that. I think I removed this comment, and that's why. Okay. That's why it needed to resolve it. Okay, looking again. Get a refresh. But that header's getting crowded, guys, and GitHub guys and gals. Open. There's a new M494. I don't know. I'm the one who suggested it, rather because we're running out of letters in M493. We don't want to change the documentation of M493 too much. It's just not enough letters. We were really running low on letters. So FT smoothing has its own options. Pretty cool. And apparently we're not doing any smoothing on the other axes. We could, But I guess any smoothing on an axis is going to be affecting all axes, right? Because everything is synchronized. So you can't just smooth one axis without smoothing everything. Am I mistaken about that? Okay. 494. Again. Watch out for that spacing, folks. Stuff I don't want to have to deal with. You could do it. I wouldn't have to. Not that it's a big deal. But, come on. All right, let's see here. We got async. Oh, more flags, more things, more stuff. Some of this overlaps, I think, with the other pull request. Be very careful about that. Great work from David, though. He's been doing great stuff. Insane. Been very fertile lately. Let's see. Update smoothing params. Okay, set smoothing time. Axis smoothing is a type. Oop. See that being yellow. See that being a little neater. Check all the updates, make sure that they're all good. Looks good. Else 0. Well, it could do this kind of thing. How about that? You know, not pretty, but you can always do this. Boop. And with that, it's already got a uint32 wrapper around it. You don't need more. All right, so how's that? Love it. Love it. All right. Huh. Must be less than or equal. Well, in this case, these must be greater than. Wait. Static assert. This must be true. So maybe you mean it must be greater than equal to smoothing time. Max. Oh. Here we go. Gotta make sure your static asserts are good. Can't have them backwards. That's not good. Also, if FTM smoothing isn't part of a test, then we'll never know. We have to enable that. Well, and I have to copy it over to, this is on a Rambo or something. Can it handle it? I think it can. Let's try that. I'll try this test. It's a Rambo with FT motion. First, I must update the configs. A little bit of a convoluted way to go about it, but this is what we do. I go to my config, say mf config manual. That applies the changes to the config files. Now, from bug fix. Now I go through and I look and I find the updated pieces. Brother. Why? Things don't have to move around like this. We can keep them in a similar place. Okay. The more we move things around, the more annoying it is for users who are migrating and stuff. So I'm going to put it up here because it's good to have it early in the thing. Paper Z. See, where did it used to be? Used to be after all the shapers. Well, let's just put it up near the top rather than hide it down at the bottom. There. How about that? Yeah. Wait. There's extra spaces in there. So yeah, this adds a Z shaper, an E shaper, and smoothing. Yeah, well, linear advance does effectively that as well, you know. I don't know, what do you think? Oh well. We're using end comments, we might as well stick to the idiom. I just don't like having this right like that in a way. It's just these kinds of comments are a little trickier for my configurator to parse. Let's see. So we are keeping them all aligned, so that's fine. I guess I see that you could move them all, but over to the left by at least 2 spaces. Yes, I could. Aha! All right. Fine. So these are all the fun changes that I would now have to apply to every single config file. That's why I don't like these. Get these things sorted out early, but yeah, number of options, silly. Now, what is with these numbers? Units per step time, steps per unit time, and so on are they just simply being removed? I mean, I get we don't necessarily want everyone to have to edit these things. Makes sense. We need a number for this. What is this? We need a unit. We need a unit. Uh-huh. And fs divided by 2 is the limit thing. 1,000 in hertz. Okay. So I believe then this is going to be hertz then, since it's being compared to that same unit. And we have ratio. Yeah, it's got to be hertz. Yeah, I gotcha. So these are the conditionals for a fixed time motion. Yeah. Uh-huh. Seconds. I see. Fascinating. Okay. Feeling okay, feeling okay. Yeah. I don't mind not having a bunch of options in people's faces that are archaic. So, okay, that's cool. I hate the work, but I love the concept. So now I'm going to have to take this and apply it every way that I can. Um, Yeah, final. I'm not letting you make any more changes after this. Sorry. That's it. We gotta move. We gotta ship this thing. Now, of course, you've always been free to use beta 2, beta 3, whatever, beta 1. And I'm sure there are plenty of folks who do, but I don't know. Some folks like to wait until there's an official release and then, they go for it. So here's the deal. I gotta replace this with that. So in order to do that, I'm gonna need to do this. Other editors are too slow. I don't know what they're doing in this particular Electron app, but their search and replace is much faster than any other editor, except maybe Zed right now. But Zed has a weird search and replace interface that makes it kind of not that exciting to use. All right, so we want to replace 384. Well, watch how quickly it replaces them. Whoosh, 384 files. Done. Or is it? Nope, not quite. Now it's done. Yeah, it would have taken minutes if I'd done that with Sublime. Next thing I got to change. Not that. Apparently I have a stashed document that AI generated for me, which is terrible. Let's see. I don't want to move that FT motion menu to the top though. Let me save this and do another MF config manual just so I get the latest layout and make sure I have it right. Oh yeah, I did move some things. Okay. Oh boy. Maybe I don't need to move those over to the left like that, but I kind of have to. I kind of have to. No. 2, 3, and one more. All right. Discard those. Add those in. And we'll see what we got. Oh boy. Okay, so let me grab. What I'll do is I'll just do a very simple search and replace because I don't think we have this enabled anymore. So if I go here, for example, open this up, it doesn't really matter. I can pick any one that I want. Pick that one again. Right, so here's FT motion, and we'll copy the unaltered version. Unaltered, copied, and then the altered version, which is the default. All right. Now, let's see what we end up with. And apparently, all of them will get replaced. That's good. This is going to be replacing a lot of lines, so I have a feeling it's going to be a little slower, but not much. Wow, it's surprisingly how fast this is. I can only assume it's doing like a it's doing like a search up to the thing, then do the replace, and then the rest, and then write it out, and then just doing that continually so that it's a continuous stream, which can make things faster, as opposed to doing like a choppy kind of search replace loop sort of thing where it's like I don't know how to describe what I mean. Well, we've got all kinds of good things. We got some interesting things. We got an improved sorting algorithm for SD cards. We've got, just in this one amazing day, we've got improvements to the smoothness of FT motion. We've got more reliable fixed time motion and improved smoothing in the in here and on the linear advance. I mean, this is going to be very nice. It's going to be so nice. Well, anyway, I should make a note of the actual pull request number. So let's do that. It's one of the things I like to do when I can. Oh, that's right. I forgot. They've overridden the keyboard on this page to such an extent that you have to click on the background if you want to even do page up, page down, or home end. If you're in any part, if you click on one of the elements, it suddenly takes over your home end keys and stuff. I don't know what's going on with GitHub, but it's messing with my mojo. Like nobody uses those shortcuts anyway. um, yeah, that all looks good to me. So fancy. Anyway, I'm only here to copy the this anyway, or I can get this way. And this just allows me to include the author, Debuez's. There you are, David. And I also like to include a link to the original pull request, even though my submission to GitHub Desktop to make these links work properly has never been accepted. I don't know what they're waiting for. You know, it's not perfect, I know. Take it anyway and then fix it. Don't wait for me to do it. I don't know what you want. You've asked me to like change it and stuff, and I'm like, I like the way it looks. I like the way it works. It's fine. It uses standard Python features, but for some reason they're being stingy. They're like, no, you must not use. You shouldn't call this directly and do a string replace directly. You must call our function and do it. And I'm like, but yours aren't set up right for what I want to do. Oh shit! I see. I kind of want to change this now. Darn it! I kind of want to make this. I don't know. Also, this should really be capitalized because it's a fancy feature. Um, which may also um yeah, smooth. The more I look at that word, the more I get semantic saturation. Smooth, 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 smooth. Too much for round corners. Yeah, won't it though? Okay, let's once again do it real quick. Get it over there. I've been really in the habit of like, whenever I need a new tool for something like some process I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I catch myself doing it more than once and it's tedious. I'm like, I'll write a script for that. I'll do something, whatever I have to do. Um, okay, so one more little patch here. Replace that with just to kind of pretty it up a little bit. Hopefully it'll pretty it up. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Looks good to me. Boom. All right, what do we got? And smoothing, 2 lines. Okay. Okay, we're good. now I can actually put a test, now that we have the configurations in place. I can actually add a test for that. I was just about to do anyway. So let's go back to Marlin, and voila, test in Rambo, updates to the configs, little white space tweaks, and I do believe that static assert will now do the right thing. So let's see, various mods, boop, and up you go. Cool. So the only other thing I could see is 39 minutes. I merged it. Okay, let's take a look and see if it's gonna pass our tests. You know, as much as I like cool animations in my OS, it's like if I'm trying to click on something, I don't want it to animate the mouse when I'm about to click on it. Okay, so this is the Chitu. That's fine. We're good on that one's all good. It's got 2 checks left. You know what? Trust it'll work. Pretty much all of the end stops should be overrideable. One way to do it, which I've approached in the past, was to define these things at the board level with the board prefix on them, and then like you have one central file that deals with deciding whether to use the board version or your version or whatever. It's the fallback basically. All right, let's do this. Very tweaky change to make this I call this one a configuration change. Let's put a wrench on it. Good. Yeah, I tend to use this keyboard because I like keyboards that are like closer to a laptop. I just got so used to using laptop keyboards, and it's very similar like the keyboard on the Pi 400. Just like that low profile chiclet style keys. I don't know why. I get real annoyed by clackety clacky keyboards. Not down with them. Maybe it's part of my Zen thing. I don't know. Okay, well, so much happening. This is exciting. I can't wait to get these on my printer tomorrow. Be there with you guys. We're really cranking this weekend. Is going to be exciting for everyone going to 3D Printopia. I'm sure all the folks showing off their stuff to new users and so on. Hope you sell lots of cool things and lots of attention for your cool things, creations. I'll be checking in with attendees, and I obviously won't be there myself in person, but I will be sending over the old Marlin, and I'll try and get in touch with if you're going to be at the show and you want to interact with me on Discord and get and I can help you with getting an update to Marlin on your printer at the show if you want. Try it out. Of course, you can always revert back if you don't like what we've done. If you find something breaks, but I hope it'll all work for you. We haven't obviously tested on everyone's machine, but that's we're getting it out there. We're doing our best to test on our own, and yeah, there's going to be good stuff. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate it. See you soon.